I feel like there's going to be a certain sector of people absent from the comments section today. After a very vocal few months, I think it'll be quiet. He told us we'd see him in May. Well, it's May the 11th. I can see you, Brendan. Welcome back. Celtic are effectively champions of Scotland. Feels nice to say. Let's not get too carried away. It's not done quite yet, is it? Nah, listen. It's as good as a result we could hope for today, and there's no point in protecting nothing. It feels like Celtic are champions of Scotland. That's exactly what this result does for us this afternoon. I am delighted. My voice is gone. If you can't tell, there might be a few voice cracks throughout the match reaction. Can't do much about that when you've spent your time shouting at Willie Collum and cheering on Celtic, but I'm chuffed. Absolutely chuffed. And to tell you the truth, as I sit down to do this match reaction right now, it feels like one of those days, and we've had plenty of them over the course of this channel. I've been doing this since the year Brendan Rodgers arrived at Celtic in 2016. There's been plenty of days where Celtic have crowned themselves champions of Scotland. There's been plenty of days where we have beaten Rangers. And let me tell you, Brendan Rodgers has been the mastermind behind the majority of them. No matter how we've got the job done, we've done it. I've done this so many times. It's one of these days, and you all know what it's like as a Celtic fan. As you enjoy yourself, as you drink your beer watching this video, as you cheer on Celtic, you know fine well that today it's one of those ones where, yeah, there is aspects of the performance that need dissected. There is analysis that needs done on certain parts of the game. But all of that goes out the window for 24 hours. It's just about getting the result. It's about winning the game. And Celtic done that this afternoon. They done what was expected of them. They delivered. They didn't crumble. And once again, they make short work of Rangers. Not for the first time this season. Not for the second time this season. For the third time. Philip, come on. Speaking very, very openly about Brendan Rodgers having fun. Guess what, Philippe? I've had a lot of fun this weekend, I tell you that. It just feels great. It feels fantastic being able to take that pressure off yourself now. And don't get me wrong, there was a lot of it towards the end of that game. It was nervy, it was touch and go. Thinking to yourself, is one goal enough? Is a one goal lead going to protect a league title here for Celtic? I was on the edge of my seat for the vast majority of the second half. But now having that pressure off your shoulders, going into the game at Rugby Park, going into the last game of the season, Celtic are in a very, very well placed position in this league table now. They need 1 point to secure it. They need to just avoid being battered their last two games to secure it, to be quite honest. Celtic are going to win the league. It's done. I have no fear in saying that, and I'm just incredibly chuffed that after the ups and downs of this season, after the moments where we've came back after defeats to Hearts at Celtic Park, after defeats to Kilmarnock at Rugby Park, being able to sit in this chair and just feel like Celtic have done what they should have done a long time ago. And you can raise the question about how long it took them to do it in the manner that they've done it. You can talk about that. The fact of the matter is there's nothing sweeter about beating Rangers to go and win a league title, and that's basically what we've done today. It might not mathematically be set, but Celtic, the serial winners that they are, they never looked back. Even when there was a position in that league table where Rangers could have went top and did go top and could have extended their lead at the top, Celtic stayed strong. Celtic were the serial winners that they are, and they let Rangers do their business as usual on the losing side of things. And ultimately we find ourselves here being able to sit down, celebrate effectively what is 3 in a row, and it just feels absolutely fantastic. So aye, there is a performance to analyse. There is a game that just happened in 90 minutes of football that deserves its own conversation. But I know you're enjoying yourself as much as I am right now. Brendan Rodgers, God bless you. Never doubted for a minute we'd win this league title. I was sticking by him in the darkest of times. And you all know that. I took some stick, but it was all worth it in the end. There's a job to be done going into next season to strengthen and improve on the foundations that he's built this season. There is obvious areas where we haven't been good enough and obvious things that we haven't done right. And now's the time to pick up the pieces from the next game, win the next two, and go into the summer in a position of dominance. There's a cup final in there as well, but we'll come to that. And pick up where we left off next season when the curtain falls and then raises again. But let's not get ahead of ourselves too much. We'll enjoy it while it lasts. Let's talk about the 90 minutes that we just saw. What a start from Celtic. I thought the first half we were really, really good. Aside from the obvious goal that we conceded, I thought it was a near perfect performance from Celtic in the first half. The only negative that I can take from the entirety of the opening 45 minutes is the fact that there is clearly a lack of quality in that left-hand side when it comes to the defence. It was night and day between Johnston, Cameron Carter-Vickers and Liam Scales and Greg Taylor. Liam Scales got away with it a little bit today, and I'm not going to stick in and give him too much of a hard time here, because we've won the league at the end of the day, we've beat Rangers, and that's what matters. So I don't want to shower in negatives from an occasion where we should be really joyous and happy. I don't want to do that, but you can't sit back after that 90 minutes and say that there isn't an obvious improvement needed there, and that the players over that side of the park aren't quite good enough. He got away with a few dodgy moments. And the thing is about Liam Scales, what's annoying me the most is the fact it's when he's given the ball for an extended period of time is where he struggles the most. It's almost like when he has too long to think about something, that's when he struggles. That's when we see the worst of Liam Scales. He does better when there's pressure on him, and Rangers were seeing that. Rangers towards the end of that first half stopped pressing entirely. They stopped going towards him. They were just letting him walk out with the ball as he does, and he's useless because he can't make up his mind where the pass is going to go, and it either ends up at the park or straight to a Rangers player's feet. And it was so frustrating, because that was the only thing that was really taken away from what I thought was a near perfect performance from Celtic in the first half. We were relentless, we went out and we created chances. James Forrest, I'm so sorry for all the stick I've given you over the last few years, Jamesy. You are a modern day legend at this club, and you deserve the credit. Today, once again, I thought he had a brilliant performance. Maida, brilliant performance. Kyogo was just unlucky, he couldn't really get into the game as much as the wingers did, I thought. The ball kept kind of fizzing to his feet, and it was a struggle for him to maybe control it in moments in the game. Most of our chances were being created by the midfielders and the wingers, and when we were getting shots on goal, they were either coming from, Forrest cutting inside, or Matt O'Reilly, or Callum McGregor, or Rio Hatate being on the edge of the area. Rangers really guarded Kyogo today, and they know the danger that he possesses. He's had a brilliant goal-scoring record against Rangers. They've had a torrid time with him. So they were making sure he wasn't getting into the game the same way that he normally would. But do you know what? We were doing really well at creating chances, and we were brave with our chances in the first half. We were taking shots from outside the box. We were being a bit more ambitious. And dare I say it, it should have been more today. It should have been more. We should have had more goals. Matt O'Reilly, he was so close on a couple of occasions. His free kick in the first half was really close. Butland was forced to make a couple of big saves as well. First half, we were all over Rangers. They hadn't had a look in. And they were doing what we said in the podcast. They were lumping the ball up the park and hoping for the best. There was only a couple of moments where they got to, run with the ball up the park. And if they did get to run up the ball with the puck, it was with that donkey Fabio Silva who couldn't beat a man. So they were forced to hit it long. And Celtic were just having a great time in the first half. When we went up 2-0, I genuinely thought we were going to see one of the famous hidings. Remember the last shot? Remember the scorelines we've seen in this? I thought that's what we were getting when we went 2-0 up. But we took our foot off the gas a little bit and we lost concentration and we allowed them back into the game. Cyril Dessers scoring a goal very similar to the day we beat them 5-1 at Celtic Park. Remember Joe Garner's goal? He scored a goal awful similar to that. It was in the air in eternity, as commentator, whatever his Tom would say. And they managed to get themselves back in the game. Not for too long though. John Lundstrom, take a bow. You've been a great servant to Celtic Football Club. Today was your best performance in a Celtic shirt, my man. An own goal and a red card. How generous can you be? Thank you, Johnny. It is appreciated. Enjoy Turkey. I'm sure you'll have a great time. It's hellish sunny air there, so brilliant. You'll enjoy it. Thank you for your services this afternoon, John. He had an absolute fucking nightmare, didn't he? And I couldn't be more delighted because he's a... Remember all those times, Lundstrom, where he's got this stare, look at him walk into Celtic Park. How well has that worked out from his course at Rangers? Yeah, not great. Not a great record. He can stare all he likes, but he's off. It was like Carlos Carrera. Now he's a dick. Yeah, the red card changed the game for Rangers, obviously, and we'll come on to the second half, and especially the kind of opening 20 minutes of that second half in a moment. But yeah, that kind of took the zap out of Rangers' potential comeback late in the first half. It was a definite red card. It was an easy decision. But first half, look, listen, I'm not going to get too much into talking or criticising about referees. There's no point. We've won the game. I thought that Willie Collum had a few questionable decisions in the game today, and I thought that some of his reasoning for things and letting players away with things as well was a bit off, and it was just quite annoying. But listen, first half we were really good. As I said, it was near perfect. If we just didn't concede that goal... Listen, we didn't concede the goal, they wouldn't have went down to 10 men. It's fucking roundabouts, isn't it? It swings and roundabouts. Things happen for domino effect and all that jazz. I was really happy with what I seen of Celtic in the first half. Matt O'Reilly was a real standout performer for me. That was the kind of performance you expect from him. And we were in a good position heading into the second half. Second half was Jekyll and Hyde kind of stuff, wasn't it? For the first 20 minutes, I thought we were really, really good. And then following that, we were hopeless. Rangers really probably could have found a way into the game if they had, decent football players, but they don't, so they didn't. We were really riding our luck a little bit in the closing stages of the game, and we dropped that intensity for some reason. It was really similar to that December game, wasn't it, where we had total control, we were 2-0 up, and then we made life difficult for ourselves. The thing that changed the game was us missing that penalty. That penalty could have been our chance to go home dry, get the result, get the 3 points, and have some fun with Rangers. But we missed the penalty, and it zapped the life out of Celtic. They just stopped playing with intensity from that point on. And we did have a couple of chances. Ida was close. Maida did score, but it was offside. And we probably could have scored a couple following the penalty. But the life in the team just dropped significantly for me. And that was really irritating. But listen, I guess, and I don't want, I just said, I don't want to get negative. We got the job done. They need to stop doing that. Stop it, Celtic. Stop putting me on the edge of a heart attack. Because I can't cope with it, especially when we're playing name for a league title that's on the line. None of that. Thanks very much. But, the second half was just... You've got to give credit to the manager as well, because time and time again he does this. And it might be hard to watch, and you might be on the edge of your seat, on the edge of your heart attack. But somehow Brendan Rodgers gets it done. Tactically, he always does something right. And he did it right, and we won the game, and by doing so we effectively become champions of Scotland. So something's right, the players click, they do it in the moments. And listen, it's not as if Rangers were super convincing in that last 10-20 minutes. It's not as if they had big chances that we got let away with. But they just had a lot more space and time to think. They were crossing balls into the box, which we did end up defending well, but we were giving them far more respect for a side that were down to 10 men. It felt like at times we were the side with 10 men. And that's just the only thing I would like us to eliminate, because we could have been home dry today. We could have had a lot more, and we could have had more fun. Brendan Rodgers wanted fun. We could have had a lot more of it if we just didn't kind of hide in the last kind of 10-20 minutes. Ultimately, we got to the end. We saw it out. Stop. I hate penalties. Just stop giving us them. I'm buzzing. I don't care. I'm buzzing. It would be unfair of me just to criticise somebody like Liam Scales or somebody like Greg Taylor and not dish out criticism elsewhere, because there was another couple of players in the park today who probably weren't good enough. One of them being Rio Tati. He just today, he didn't really find his rhythm at all. He was a bit casual for me. And he was probably one of the weaker players in the park. I'm surprised he stayed in the park as long as he did, to be quite honest. I think that was one of maybe the tactical errors that Brendan Rodgers had. I think we could have really changed that earlier. I think it maybe signals to us that, Paulo Bernardo's probably not going to sign for Celtic permanently if he didn't come on the pitch sooner. He wasn't good enough today. There was a couple of players who didn't give their best performances, but ultimately we pulled together when it matters most. And that's the thing you can always trust with Celtic, and especially a Brendan Rodgers Celtic side. They are serial winners, and if it has to be ugly, it'll be ugly. If it's good, it's good. But they're winners, and they know how to get it done. And today is another prime example of that. And it's once again why we're in the position we're in. So God bless you, Brendan. God bless you, Celtic. I am buzzing. Nothing silly in the next 2 games now. No partying yet for the players. I hope there's still a job to do. I want us to take as many points as we possibly can from this league season. And if there's any potential opportunity of Rangers slipping up and drop more points, well, let's go and win the league by a bigger margin. Why not? That's it for today. I'm absolutely boiling. As I said, for 24 hours, the dust will settle and then we can be more serious about it. But I don't care. That's how I feel. I want to celebrate our win. I want to have some fun. And I want to raise a toast to the manager for coming back and winning us another league title. So thank you. If you've enjoyed, like and subscribe. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. Sorry, it's not as serious as it would normally be, but I think you can understand the circumstances. Celtic are top. They always will be top. See you next time.